Audio log. Entry 43. Corporal Ava Martinez, 245th Battalion, the Cobras. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but you know how it is out there. One battle bleeds into the next, and before you know it, weeks have passed. Maybe getting some of this on record will help clear my head. We're en route to another mission, destination unknown, like always. But before we hit hyperdrive, I want to take a moment to talk through some of what's been rattling around in my brain, especially Deimos, the Iceberg, and Enceladus. So, life as a Cobra. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's tough. Hell, it's brutal. We're not the flashy ones, not like the pilots with their T-45 Sparrows and sleek bobcats cutting through space. We're the ones who hit the ground and do the dirty work. Clearing bunkers, securing perimeters, and going toe-to-toe with the colonial resistance when everything goes sideways. You learn quick that out here, it's not about glory. It's about survival. My squad? We're tight. You get close to the people who've got your back when everything's on the line. We've all saved each other's lives more times than I can count, and we all know there's going to be a time when one of us doesn't make it. But that's the job. It's what we signed up for. We all knew it from day one. We fight, we bleed, and if necessary, we die to make sure the Alliance keeps its grip on the galaxy. Deimos. That was a real wake-up call for me. They say your first battle never leaves you. And they're right. The CR had fortified the hell out of that place. Bunkers, shields, automated defenses, you name it. They turned Deimos into a fortress, and we had to rip it out of their hands, one bloody yard at a time. I remember our first push into the outer defenses. We were on the ground for maybe 10 minutes before we started losing people. Private Mason, right next to me, took a direct hit from a mortar. 1 second she was there, laying down suppressive fire, and the next, nothing but a crater. We were pinned down for hours. CR snipers picking us off whenever we tried to move. We had to call in air support from the Death Riders just to catch a breath. I'll never forget the sight of those T-45 Sparrows swooping in overhead, clearing the skies with precision strikes. They took out enemy AA guns and opened the door for us, but it didn't make the fight any easier. We pushed forward inch by inch. The streets were a death trap. Ambushes, mines, barricades. Every corner we turned could have been our last. I lost a lot of good friends that day. The final push to the main bunker is seared into my memory. We had no cover, just raw willpower pushing us forward. By the time we reached the CR's command post, most of us were running on empty. Ammo, energy, everything. But we took it. We finished the job. Deimos was ours, but it didn't feel like a victory. They don't tell you how hollow it feels after something like that. We won. But when you're standing there in the rubble, looking at all the empty helmets on the ground, it's hard to celebrate. Then there was the Iceberg, this massive station orbiting Europa like a silent giant. It was a hub, the biggest damn station the UMWA had in this sector. The place kept our fleet running. You'd see Sparrows, Bobcats, even Batista bombers docking there to refuel, repair, and resupply. It was our lifeline, and when the CR took it, we were bleeding out fast. I still remember the brief. Captain Mitchell gave us the rundown before the drop. Death Riders would clear the air, but it was up to us Marines to storm the station. Room by room. The CR had turned into a fortress, and they weren't going to let it go without a fight. The fighting inside the Iceberg was like nothing I'd ever experienced. Every hallway felt like a choke point, and the CR knew how to make the most of it. We were met with turrets, energy barriers, and squads of CR soldiers at every turn. My team and I were clearing one of the docking bays when things went south fast. Enemy reinforcements came in hot, and we were pinned down, taking fire from 3 different directions. We fought like hell to hold that position. I swear I fired every last round in my rifle, reloaded, and fired again. The CR had the advantage. They knew the layout, had all the cover, but we had determination. After what felt like an eternity, we managed to push them back long enough for reinforcements to land. But that was just one section. The entire station was a war zone, and it took us days to finally secure it. When the dust settled, the Iceberg was ours again. We'd cut the CR off from one of their biggest advantages, and more importantly, we got our fleet's lifeline back. Without that station, our ships, the Sparrows, the Bobcats, would have been flying on fumes. Every ship that passed through there meant another day we could keep fighting. The war wasn't over, but we'd bought ourselves some time. Time bought with blood. Then there was Enceladus. I still get chills just thinking about it. That moon was freezing, and not just because of the ice. The CR had something new, some kind of energy shield tech we hadn't seen before. We went in confident, like we always do, but that confidence didn't last long. We landed in the middle of a snowstorm. Visibility was near zero, and when we hit the CR's defenses, our weapons did nothing. Every shot just fizzled out against those damn shields. We were pinned down, trapped with no way forward, and the CR wasn't going to let up. We were stuck there for hours, waiting for something to break. I remember feeling this gnawing frustration. Our best tech, our best strategies, and none of it mattered. The Death Riders managed to punch a hole in their air defenses, giving us a slim chance. We regrouped, hit them with everything we had, and when the shields finally fell, we hit hard. But by then, we'd lost too many. Enceladus was a win on paper, but it didn't feel like one. The CR is getting smarter, more desperate. They're evolving, and it's on us to keep up, or we won't be standing when the dust clears.
Attention! Hyperdrive activation in 5 minutes. All personnel, brace for jump.
Looks like I'm running out of time. We're about to jump into hyperspace. Probably heading into another fight. That's how it always goes. You don't get much rest when you're a Cobra, but that's the life we chose. There's always another battle waiting, always another enemy to face. Maybe one day there won't be. Maybe one day we'll actually see peace. But until then, we keep fighting. This is Corporal Ava Martinez, 245th Battalion, the Cobras, signing off.
Hyperdrive activation in 2 minutes.
See you on the other side.
The engine is starting up.